Hey, Charlie, how are you, man?
Yes, I'm very fine, man.
Yeah, I can see your
Fine.
shirt. I can see your shirt. You are improving. What?
Improving what? Tuna fisheries management.
Oh, oh, did you participate in that international committee? The one that
The ICAT.
is what's allocating tuna.
Are you talking about the ICAT?
Yes, yes.
No, no, no. I have not participated in ICAT meetings before. I
Oh,
think this one. My wife. I think she did, and they gave them the T-shirt, so I took it from her, and I'm
yeah,
wearing. But yo,
appreciate.
man, I've worked with tuna for a very long time. I was managing, helping my company to manage tuna by
Oh,
doing research to it. So I
oh,
helped to develop the sampling procedure at the port, and also that people who go to sea can, like, they have people they call the scientific observers. They go and
mm,
when they catch the fish, they measure it. So I help to modify the methodology they use. So, yeah, man, I've worked with tuna. As for tuna, it's something that I have worked with. Like myself, I've been to sea before, so for
yeah,
almost
yeah,
60 days. So, yeah. And it was a tuna vessel. So I'm used to fish, man. I'm used to fish.
yeah. Oh, great, man. Last time we spoke on our video, man. We're speaking about how did we get to Europe? How did we get the scholarship first? Then how did we get to Europe? So we're narrating about our little experiences from the time we got the scholarships and the time we went to Europe. So you said the last time you flew to Milano,
Yeah,
while most of us flew to Bologna.
but
Then we
yeah, yeah.
then we took a train to Ravenna. But there's this one experience, man, that we had. Like I said before, we had a very good team coordinators that side of Italy. That found us an accommodation and everything was just easy. But there's this one experience, man, that we had at San Damiano. Would you want us to start there?
With the lady,
Yeah,
the people in charge. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It was an interesting place to live. I think it was a church or something.
yes,
That, like, monastery that's, yeah, served as accommodation for us. Yeah, it was interesting. I think the landlady was a bit of an interesting person. Her
yeah,
perspective on things was a bit some way, you know. But what can we do? There's nothing we could do. We had to stay there for that period, and for me, it
yeah,
was it was nice meeting all of you. Um, we cook sometimes together. When you get to the kitchen, you see somebody there. It was nice. Like,
yeah.
uh,
I mean, it was a
was
group of us from many different countries. So
yeah.
we start to to check what are you cooking and what is it called for. I mean, what is it called and how nice it is. Wanted to taste it. I remember I cooked umngqusho.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, man, that what did you cook? I asked you. I remember. You remember I asked you, what were you cooking with that thing? I'm like, "Ah, you remember the day I saw you cooking rice, man? Yeah, it was something else, man. Yo, man, can you explain how you cook rice, man? Before I taught you the Ghanaian way of cooking rice, man.
For me, it was
You
very simple.
forgotten?
And it was very surprising that many people put salt in rice. For us, we just boil the water with rice in there, Then you drain some water. The first water you drain it out. Then the other one
Ah,
until it's done. I mean, it's cooked. So we didn't put salt. I think it was very strange for you because you wanted to put salt. then, uh, then you told me about what do you call the rice that you cook? Then you mix everything.
is it a jollof rice?
The jollof rice, and there's always a debate between Ghanaian jollof and Nigerian jollof.
True,
And
true,
today,
true.
did, did the two countries have a competition so that we know which one is the best?
No, we've not had a competition. Just that the Nigerians think that theirs is better than ours. It's been like, like we do it just to make fun of each other. I think originally it comes from the jollof should either come from Senegal or Gambia, one of those countries. But we Ghanaians, we tend to more or less like embellish, and like we tend to make it to suit our taste. And the
Mm,
people who have tasted the Nigerian one, the Senegalese, and the Gambian one say the Ghanaian one is nice. I know if Lukman were to be here, he would say, ah, no, no, no.
the
Yeah,
Nigerian.
yeah, yeah. If you eat the Nigerian jollof, the way they prepare it, it's not. Some of us we don't like it, so we don't want to even
Yeah.
touch it.
So it's
But
about
it's just a friendly competition. There's to tease each other, and Nigeria is like two countries away, or there after I think after two countries,
yeah.
Togo and Benin. But
Mm,
they are more closer than even I because we tend to relate to them because we speak English. So
mm,
we
mm.
tend to, yeah, yeah. So
Eh, Yo, man. So what can you tell? What can we take from our experience there, looking at the transportation system, just in particular in Italy? Then what can you take for our respective countries?
yeah, I think the same question will go for you after I finished anyway. But for me, the transportation was for me is A class, it's top notch. The bus, the rail. As for the rail, the Italian rail,
Mm,
is the best. Is the best. And the bus system, it was good. Their timing was always on point. And for me, the
mm,
transportation was excellent. Unless you want to ride a bicycle like what how we did to the
mm,
university, but the Italian transportation for their bus and their rail for because you can even pick a train from Ravenna, which is
mm,
like a small town, to like Bologna or Milan or some any other part of Italy, which for me was so for their transport is compared to Ghana. Ghana is non-existent. Our
mm,
transport is terrible. It's terrible. Even the state of the cars are so bad. They are rickety. A lot of
mm.
them are rickety.
So how
Even
is, if you compare the train system, how is it compared to Ghana?
ours is non-existent. We don't even have a train. We have, but this rickety is something you will not even pick. It is recently that the current government has bought two new trains.
Oh,
They are trying
nice.
to revamp the entire because we use the you see the Italians use the standard gauge railway.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
it is recently that we had a standard gauge. We were using a narrow gauge, which is like 18 something.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it is recently that we have the standard gauge, but the
Mm,
trains, the brand trains have not come. It's the old one. And for compared to Italy, if Italy is like 100, we are like negative one.
mm, mm. So if we talk up, yes, sometimes you go low, man. You go low, and I could not hear you. But if you
Okay,
talk about
okay.
the transportation, so we talk the train, and we say the train system was on par, like very good. Then there's air, aeroplanes, and I mean flying everywhere. Then we talk about maybe the buses as well, the cars. I remember there were people that were using boats. to travel to Ravenna, not to Ravenna, to some parts, but there were people that were using boats. Then we talk about the bicycle system. So if you compare all of these, so the lessons will be, what you need to improve on is the train, because the train, you can use it to transport masses of people and in different direction and all that, and you have less accidents in trains compared to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
vehicles on
yeah,
the road.
yeah, yeah.
And also because we are environmentalists as well, maybe that will be more environmental friendly than the carbon produced by the vehicles on the road. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think from our side, when I left for Italy 2018, the train system was working, not well in Cape Town in particular. I think we have big cities where the train system will normally work. Like we have your Johannesburg, then the train system was working efficiently. Cape Town, Durban, those three big cities. But then things started not to go well. But I think they are doing. They are improving once more again, because there are people that have gone back to the trains. But I think as well, as we improving the train, what happened is that many people now are buying cars, they are driving. So if you drive in the big cities like your Cape Town, your Gauteng, your Durban, the traffic congestion on the road is too much. Is too much. So where I used to live in Cape Town, Kraaifontein, I was traveling from Kraaifontein to Waterfront. So I was using train more often. But if you are using your car, you're stuck in the traffic. You get to work, wherever you are going, you are tired already. You are not interested to work. I think one more thing. Even though the terrain is not the same, the Italians were more on bicycles. But this
Yeah.
side, few places bicycles will work, or yeah, because we have steep areas as well, more steep areas.
Okay.
I don't know, because remember when we traveled from which, you remember the hospital we went to in
Is
Italy?
it a
We used,
Pronto Soccorso?
yes, so we used
Yeah,
bicycle. That
yeah,
was a very long stretch,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it was not difficult to use bicycles, and the steepness of the road. I mean, it was easy everywhere until we got. Sorry,
Sorry.
someone for me. Sorry, something disturbed me there. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so that was the thing that I would take and say, yo, if we had a good terrain, or maybe in places where there is good terrain, or where people are living closer to their works, other than using their vehicles, bicycles would work more. But then, because we
But let
have
me
more,
ask you, do you have like bicycle lanes in SA?
in suburbs.
The big cities, like in the big cities and suburbs, like
Yeah, in suburbs and in some
okay,
areas in the cities, you'll find the bicycle lanes, but not all the places. Like now, the place that I live in, there are bicycle lanes. So people are using those bicycle lanes to commute to work. You see, but
okay.
it's not a lot. More people are still relying on taxis. Taxis is the biggest transportation system for us. Then after taxis is followed by the buses.
Okay.
And so in
How
Ghana,
effective, like compared to like you can have an app, like as we in Ravenna, you can even check the bus and everything when the bus is coming, the
oh,
times for the bus. You have like the same thing in
mm,
in SA.
yes, in Cape Town you have that, So the bus called My City. You have an app, you can check the bus time, when is it coming, and all that. So, but in many other places, it's still far from getting to that level. You see, so that's one thing. I think when we travel to places, we also learn the things that they are doing and how are we doing, and maybe there are good things that we can take home or not. But one thing that I thought I can take home to South Africa was the train system, and the fact that even smaller countries like Portugal, you have a boom gate where the railway is crossing a road,
Yeah,
so that boom gate will close when the train is coming, so that the vehicles will not cross. And I mean, it's simple infrastructure that is there. It will close like the traffic lights that they have in the roads.
yeah,
Then the boom gate and the traffic light, then traffic light will have a red light to say, no, now the train is coming, and there will be a siren that the train is coming. Then it passes. So we had some incidents where here at home, the trains uh, were coming and the vehicle was crossing and caused huge accidents and in many occasions. So I like, hey, we have people that have traveled to these places. Maybe they could have not taken that case study and come home and implement it, because it's very simple infrastructure. Simple infrastructure. I'm not an engineer, but the way I looked at it, it's a very simple infrastructure that could have saved a lot of lives. You know, lot of lives.
but
So
one thing that I think I realized with uh, I think with the Italians was that they tend to the trains were not really passing through cities, except
yeah,
the trams because they removed the rail lines out of like passing
yeah,
through like the thing where a car would have to cross. I think that is one thing that I realized about when you enter the train station, you pick the
yeah.
train and it's like you are going out of town. You're just
Mm,
heading
mm, mm,
somewhere.
mm. Yes, yes. And I think as far as we know, there were very few accidents caused by the trains in that side. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
very few accidents. But I think I like the way they were integrating their transport system. I've never been in Amsterdam, but I've read about Amsterdam. The bicycle is a culture of, I mean, it's a transport mode, it's one of the transport mode in Netherlands. I remember there was a documentary that I watched as well. So, some guys from America went to Amsterdam just to learn how do they do this bicycle transportation system so well, because they were having an issue of traffic congestion, especially in big towns or in big cities like New York. You see, so they integrated it to the transport system to such an extent that if you ride a bicycle and you are using your phone, you might even get a ticket for that.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
hopefully,
I think even in I know we have not gotten there yet, but
yeah,
I think the guy from Lithuania, is it
yes,
Lucas?
yeah,
He
look
was
at,
he had to pay 200 euros for having headphones and riding a bicycle. He paid
oh yeah,
200 euros.
in
Yeah, I remember
Spain,
that. Yeah, in
yeah.
Spain. We have not reached Spain yet, but that was what happened to him. Like the
So
police stopped him and just made him pay.
yeah. So, Charlie, should you be given a chance to say, hey, come back again to Italy? You lived in Italy for 6 months. You went to Portugal for 2 weeks. Then you went to Spain for another 6 months. Then you had to decide which country that you will be going and which country that you will be doing an internship for your masters for 3 months. So, if you were to be given another opportunity to go in one of these three countries, which one would you prefer and why?
I would prefer Spain because I think I liked Spain more
Mm,
because of the weather. The Spanish train system too wasn't bad at all. It was also very good because I could move from Porto Real to
mm,
uh, Madrid, you know,
yeah.
buy one ticket for it. So, and there was a train station in Porto Real, so it was very good for me. Their bus too was, even though it can delay like five
Mm.
minutes or something, it was okay. But I think I liked Spain more. Italy was too cold for me. It was too cold. Yeah, you remember, in my room, man, where there I was accused of doing some things in my room, man. But yeah, that is fine. So it was
Because of
cool, too cool
like
for me. Yo, man. So what about you, man? What about you? Which of them would you like to go
yo,
back to? Or?
I think, man, I I like the transportation system in Italy because even the bicycles, I mean, you would move anywhere quick and easy. I think Spain, because we're in the southern Spain, Cadiz, it wasn't bad for moving with bicycles, but the
Yeah,
transportation system was not as on par as in Italy because now we got to, I mean, we're used to an Italian transportation system. Then when we got there, we expected the same, but it was not as good because even the train, even though you use the train from Porto Real in Cadiz to Madrid, I'm sure you delayed. You
yeah,
delayed. You delayed. If I can compare that experience that you had, the time you took from Porto Real to Cadiz, and you take that experience to Italy, I had to go to our embassy in Rome
yeah.
from
I remember
Italy.
that when I came. I think the week or 2 weeks that I came, you had to go and do something in your embassy, man. And you
Yes,
wanted me to tag along. I was like, no, man.
I
50
wanted to
euros.
come.
I'm not paying, man. I'm not paying 50 euros because I was doing the calculation in my in my currency, and I was like, it's too much. This guy. Yo, man, you
You
can continue.
you were still new, man. So we were still converting euros to
Yeah.
cities, Ghanaian city. So at that time when you came, I already passed that stage of converting. So
I know, man.
uh, I used my bicycle from where we stayed to the train station in Ravenna. Then I locked it there, right? Or
Yeah,
maybe I left.
yeah. There's a lot. You can lock it, but sometimes those guys can steal the eyes. Those guys.
Yeah. So you remember my friend from Ukraine, his bicycle, very nice bicycle. Short and nice, yeah. So then I took a train to Bologna, which was not a fast train, just a normal train to Bologna. Then from Bologna, I had to find a train, Italo. Oh, very nice train, comfortable train, and you sleep and yeah. So I had to find the train Italo. I went to Bologna before, but then I didn't go up to those levels. You know, most in Bologna
Yeah,
there are levels. When you come
true.
from Ravenna, you're in the upper level. Then when you go to it, Rome, you have to go down. Or so went to what do you call those things, subways. But then that was a very new thing to me as well. Then when I went uh, to take an Italo train, which I already booked in advance. Then I took it. It was a very fast train, very comfortable train with music. With you can put your earphones, headphones, listen to music. Then and it was very cheap. I don't remember the price, but it was very cheap for such a long distance from Bologna. If you calculate distance from Bologna to Rome, but with South African rands, it was less than 50 rand at the time
Okay.
when I booked. So it was a very fast train, 240 kilometers an hour. So we got to Bologna in less than 3 hours. And when you calculate with a vehicle, it will take you 5 hours drive and all that. Then I think yes, they always say when I'm in Rome, you must behave like Roman. So I was like, oh, let me check. How is this Rome? So I went around Rome and I saw, damn, this is a big city. One thing as well, even though they've got good transportation system, there are still people that prefer to use their own vehicles.
Yeah.
So when we got to Rome, uh, the cars on the road, there were a lot, and there is few parking. And I was talking to people around, and they said, yo, you must wake up very early to find a parking. The cars were parking like this, and the car to move out of parking had to kiss another one and kiss the one at the back before you move out of the park. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
I think we saw that in Milano, or is it
Yeah,
Firenze? When we went to Florence, either
yeah.
Milano or Florence, one of them. We saw that thing where they park like the way you are saying. Yeah, it's true.
Yes, yes, in Florence. I remember when we were in Florence, then someone from us though wanted to take a video, and the guy said, "No, no, no, don't take a video." But it seemed like it's something that is normal that they do, like because of very limited spaces for parking. So I was asking myself if they have so much good transportation system like your buses or trains or bus, why there are still so many people that are using their own cars. You see, that's one thing. So I think that was one of the great experience. I mean, when you are in a place to travel to other places, because I remember we also traveled to Florence. And one thing, Charlie, my own observation, or I spoken with you when we were there. I mean, we're there all the time, but on Sundays you hardly see people going to church. Can
No,
you?
yeah, they don't do church, man. These people don't do church. Their churches are museums, eh?
Yes, because we
Yeah,
were
they are big museums.
in Florence. What happened? We were in a queue there, queue to go to church just to see, like, as tourists. So they are using
Yeah,
those is as tourist attraction places.
yeah. They are
So
huge tourist sites. So
and
they are
very
not
big.
they are not for they are not for worship. I think they do, but it's not like Europeans have those people there, like they have moved like on from the church. I think it's usually old people who go to
Mm,
church because I realized that in Ravenna. I don't know if you also saw that because I
mm,
realized that in Ravenna, and I asked around, and they said it was the older folks that usually will go to church, but not the young
yeah,
guys because the young guys won't go to church. They rather do the clubs. They go to beaches and enjoy themselves than to um, go to church on Sundays. So I
mm.
think I don't know you, man. You are not a church person, man. So I think it was okay for you. Some of us we really suffered during that period because then it was like there was no church to go to, so I have to. I might as well be in my room all the time. But yo,
And
man, I don't think you want. Did you want to go to church, man?
no, not at all. Not at all. But it was just an observation because I was living there. And in all these three countries that I mean, we were living in, on Easter holiday, Easter weekend, did you see anyone going to church in all these three countries? Italy, Spain, Portugal.
I think the Portuguese are more churchgoers. The
Mm,
Portuguese go to church, yes, but the Italians and the Spanish, no. they don't go to church. But the Portuguese, they are more charismatic Christians in Portugal.
Mm,
That's
mm,
you know the Mozambique guy we saw
yeah,
who was a student. Yeah, yeah, he's a pastor. Yeah. So
yes.
um, yeah, they tend to be a bit, but then no, on Easter, I think Easter even came to pass without some of us even realizing that yo man, it was Easter time because there was no church activity during that time. I think that time during during Easter, I think we were in Spain, right?
During Easter, yes, we're in Spain.
For the first year, yeah, we were in Spain. We were in Spain.
Yes. Then for the second year, you were also in Spain, and I was in Portugal.
Yeah, yeah. I decided to go back to Spain. Yeah.
So when we're in Spain, you also visited Madrid. I didn't go to Madrid. I don't remember what was the problem. But before you went to Madrid, you had your own expectation how Madrid is. Then when you
Yeah.
got to where your expectations met,
It
like did you
was
feel the
I think
way?
it was
Mm,
beyond my expectation because I thought it would be okay. Yeah, they say, but it's a huge city. It's like it's so vast. It's so huge that I was even in a hurry to leave the place because um, and they had a network of subways that if you don't take care, you just get missing.
oh
You get
yeah,
lost. And
yeah,
their subways, they were very good, very very good. And I realized one thing, the people there don't look into other people's faces when
oh
they like in Africa, like in Ghana, when people enter into like what we call like you call a taxi, trotro, or even
yeah,
a normal taxi. For us, taxi is the small cabs. So
mm,
the bigger ones that you guys, South Africa is also a taxi. For us, we call it trotro. People see, oh, they'll greet and like say, oh, how are you? Like that kind of stuff. Or, oh, good afternoon to everybody. But then,
yeah,
when I go to Madrid, everybody is looking on their phone and typing. Cha, 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 cha. Nobody smiles. I'm like, this is a very cold place, man. It's cold.
it's cool.
It's like a big city. Nobody cares about anybody. So it's like they just pass. They
Yeah,
they don't even look at your face unless you ask somebody a question for help, like you are
yeah,
lost or something. Then that one they will try and show you. But apart from that, but it was
mm,
huge. Madrid is so huge, and I was very happy. I was able to go to the Real Madrid stadium.
oh yeah,
It's so huge. Yeah, Santiago Bernabeu.
yeah,
Unfortunately, I didn't enter, but I went into the shop. They have a
yeah,
franchise shop. That's where I went to. And I think it was very interesting. It was very interesting. I know
yeah.
you came to Sevilla. I know you came to Sevilla a lot. So can
Yeah.
you say something about Sevilla that
There
which is
was also a thing, man, called Internations, where
uh,
people from different nations will meet. I think I invited you there as well, and you didn't come. So I went to Seville, and yo, man, what was wrong, man? Because we kept on not going together. Because when we went to
I don't know.
well, I didn't go. When I went to Seville, you were not there. I think Seville was also very nice, nice place. It was chilled. I think it was very hot when I was there. As a result, we transitioned most from Italy, and Italy was very cold, and to Spain was very hot. So, even in you spent winter in Spain. I didn't spend winter there. I spent winter in Portugal. So it was very hot, and I was moving around there. Where for the very first time, even though we have it, I went for kayaking in Seville, and there were a lot of other activities that were happening. And also, I think Seville was also more advanced. Remember those scooter bicycles and
Yeah,
those. even the bicycles there, that you just take a bicycle from here, then you go and you drop it wherever you are. Then when you come out, there's another one or another scooter, you just take it, but you pay, and it's not a lot. I mean, moving from one place to another was very simple. Then for the very first time, I also did, I took that trip, the tour with the Segway. So there are guys there that are tour companies that you would pay, and they take you around and show you the places. I think it was very cool. It was very nice. I also like the fact that around the town, most places that I visited, I mean, there were more trees, man. There were more trees to go. There were more parks and very big parks. So you go and chillax, especially because it was very hot in there. So that's where I also got my sling, the bag, a leather sling bag, very nice sling bag, which I lost it. I don't know how I lose it. So I got a sling bag there. I traveled. We went to many places that I will still want to visit even up to today, if I'm given a chance. If I'm given a chance to go again, I think I would go, Charlie. I think it was very nice to move around, to see other places, to see other people, and see how other people are treating you. I think most of the time the people were very friendly, very friendly.
Yeah.
We didn't experience any issues. I know that we experienced one incident in Florence when we in Italy, but we managed it. But that side we didn't experience anything. And one thing as well, uh, I think I didn't do justice in my for myself. When we go to Italy, we had to learn Italian, then
Yeah.
Portugal, we also learn Portuguese. But if you
Yeah.
Spain, if you compare the three languages, I think Spanish was more easier. But
Yeah.
then we
The
started with
easiest of the three.
Italian, and Italian, yo, was very difficult for me.
Yeah. It's a very difficult subject. It's a very difficult language.
Yo, muy so difícil. Then when we got to Spain, I will look up
It's so difficult.
like I'm not. Then I realized again when we got to Portugal that no, Portuguese is difficult as well compared to Spanish. So I could have spent more time in learning Spanish, because if you know one of these three, then we're going to be quick to learn the others. So do you still remember Spanish? Because you also spend a lot of time in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As for Spanish, I did. So when I came back, I was also trying to teach my children like Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien.
Yeah.
Then ¿dónde eres? Do you know those things? So like, and one thing
eh,
is that because I also spent time there, I knew I was speaking the language. Especially with the Spanish. As for Italian, I don't even remember the language,
but then
but it was
when
so difficult to the ear than
when you come
Spanish.
thing as well, the numbers were almost the same in all across the.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Uno, dos, tres,
Mm,
cuatro, so those things. Yeah. But
and,
for Portuguese, then I remember the one which is dos, tres, like those kind of things. I
yeah,
still
yeah.
remember those languages. But
Like, you
once you
remember?
don't have anybody to speak with, it's quite
Yes,
difficult.
yes. That was one of the problems. That was. Hey, Charlie. No, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for
sure,
coming.
sure,
Think,
sure,
let's.
sure,
Yeah, man. We will catch up some other time. I know there are
sure,
interesting things that we need to talk about from your side.
sure, sure, sure.
So I'm waiting for that. And when we're talking about those things, I want you to please show me. Also, when you're going to the shops, and just to check your experience and how are you going about this. So next time, Charlie.
Sure, sure. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Sure, thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Later.
Sure.